I hope all of you are doing well. I'm Mr. Ish. Thank you for joining me. This question has been provided to me from a particular viewer. Presented on their exam, student didn't get it right, didn't know how to do it, and I will show you in this video how you can solve for this particular question. The purpose of this question is to solve for that constant value a, such that when you evaluate this limit, the output is equal to e. Limit as x approaches infinity, you have x plus a divided by x minus a to the power of x. It equals e. What is the value of a? If you take this infinity and you just put it in places of x, what do you have? Infinity plus a divided by infinity minus a to the power of infinity. What does this equal to or evaluate to? The a's are meaningless in the face of infinity. You have infinity or infinity to the power of infinity, which is really 1 to the power of infinity. You have an indeterminate power type. Your goal is to convert it to a product type and then to quotient forms. You know the quotient forms. You can do the g function derivative divided by the reciprocal of f, or you can do the f function derivative divided by the reciprocal of g, and you would do it that way. But what we already know here is the end result of this entire limit evaluation is e, and that's helpful because when you're looking at this type of question, you're converting it into this form, you know y is equal to that function x plus a divided by x minus a to the power of x. But if you bring in the properties of log, you really have natural log y is equal to x natural log x plus a divided by x minus a. To solve for this value of a, you have to make the most important determination at this step. And what is that determination? Well, it's this. You know the end result of this limit evaluation is e, but you also know that natural log y is equal to some value, and you know that's going to give you an e. When you solve for this y, you're taking the natural log. On the other side, you're doing e to the power of this some hidden value is equal to e. What must this value be? That hidden value must be equal to 1, which is telling you when you're doing the quotient form evaluation, all of this should evaluate to a value 1. That one value will help you determine the a value because we've already used the end result of this limit for this determination of 1. That right there is the most important part of this question. So now let's actually solve for that a. I know I have to do the quotient forms over here. I'm making this my f function. Right here I'm making this my g function. I'm going to do derivative of the numerator and I'll do derivative of the denominator, but this is a chain rule, like composite function, so I'll do d or du, l and u, and then I'll do du or dx, the derivative of this, which I have to do x plus a divided by x minus a, then I'll do the derivative of the reciprocal of the f function, 1 over x, at which then I can do infinity. Now everything is beginning to make sense. When you do the derivative of ln u, it's 1 over u. When you do the derivative of this by means of the quotient rule, it's not hard. You can literally do it in your head. You'll have the g function times the derivative of the f function, which is 1, minus the f function times the derivative of the g function, which is 1. I don't have to even write that. Divided by the g function squared, all over the derivative of this, which is minus 1 over x squared, and you'd evaluate it at infinity. I need space, but you don't need to see this anymore. All we need to remember from here is natural log y is equal to something, and we already know that it was equal to by means of a procedure I showed you equaling 1. This entire quotient form procedure is going to give me a value such that I will apply it against that 1 which I've already solved and determined. Evaluate this 1 over u. Well, you bring in that. You could literally transport this u down here into the denominator. You'll have 1 over x plus a divided by x minus a, because this is what u represents. Remember the chain rule? U is equal to that. X minus x, that gets cancelled out. Minus minus a, that's a minus 2a. This can flip around as a numerator times minus x squared. Remember, minus 1 over x squared, you flip it around. This is what you have, divided by x minus a whole square. I want to combine this minus 2a times minus x squared, and I will. What is it equal to? It's equal to a positive 2a x squared. So let's bring it in. Positive 2a x squared. Now look, because it would flip around. This entire expression here can flip around such that you have x minus a divided by x plus a. Nothing other than just algebra. X minus a divided by x plus a. This right here can cancel out with this exponent. So what you really end up seeing is you have a 2ax squared divided by x minus a times x plus a. What is that? That's equal to x squared minus a squared. This you evaluate at infinity. When you put infinity over here, what are you getting? You're still getting an infinity divided by infinity, an indeterminate form. and you can do another round of derivative, and you will do another round of derivative so long as that infinity or infinity indeterminate form exists. You do the derivative of the numerator, you're getting a 4ax. Do the derivative of the denominator, what are you getting? A 2x. And you still put infinity. You solve it out, what are you going to get? X's will cancel out, 2 will cancel out with the 4, you'll have over here a 2a. But I've already told you this entire quotient form evaluation must equal 1. 2a is equal to 1, a is equal to 1 over 2, and that right there is your answer. For this limit question over here, the value a must be 1 over 2 such that this entire limit will evaluate correctly to give you an output of e, and the question has been solved. Perhaps, again, I'll tell you the most important part of this entire question is to determine 1 using the output at the very start or towards the start as I showed you. Remember, natural log y was equal to some value and then y was equal to e to the power of that hidden value, but I already know all of that is equal to e, therefore that hidden value must be equal to 1. And that's exactly how it came into the picture, and you see everything carried through. Thank you. Have a good night.